Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mass Effect 2164. So, let's do this.
Successful interrogation. That never happens in an RPG.
When you roll
Dr.
almost a
Carmine and
critical
his
success.
Omniblade medical practices.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that was like we already had like the movie thing of us rushing down in the sports car, and then you'd use like the most movie-esque interrogation line. This is good. I'm not even that mad. I'm a little mad.
I'm a little
Your
mad.
face is still on there now.
Okay, so, you guys are. What's your plan? What's your approach? What do you do with this prisoner, who, depending on how
I
he
imagine
responds-
Lena would have a bone to pick with him about shooting civilians and whatnot.
They were
She
being
just
shot
sort
at
of, like,
first.
She just sort of like looks at her shock gauntlets that she's now wearing. She contemplates, and she just says to him, if she sort of kneels down in front of him, but not in the same way that she kneeled down in front of that woman. She sort of kneels down in front of him as if to say, listen, if what you're saying is true, and people like you and your friends out there were recruited, and you didn't have much choice, then I feel bad for you. But just so you know, you're lucky that I'm not stooping to this level that you've been on. And she just walks away. It's just not her decision.
That leaves him alone with Carmine.
Slap him on the back. I guess it's your lucky day, friend.
Do you release him or just like leave him there chained up?
I imagine the civilians would have something to say about him, but
Because you
Yeah,
could
let the
always do the
civilians
whole
decide.
release him and let him walk back. You know, it was a lot of kilometers between where he is, where he's going, and
Yeah,
he's just in his skivvies. Not even
he
boots.
can walk. He can walk
So-
in his boxers.
It's one of those like, if you can survive, you can survive. We're not going to kill you.
You should probably tell him that where he's going is probably going to be blown to smithereens by us, so choose a different destination.
I mean, do you have to tell him?
That would imply that, you know, well, he doesn't need to know, right? What he doesn't know can't hurt him. So, yeah, I actually untie him and I take him down and I let him go.
Okay. You untie him, you let him go, and he genuinely seems confused. And then if you like, just get out of here, he will walk out of the town and start heading north.
Is that the direction that the vehicle was going in before I stopped them, yeah?
They were heading
They came
south,
from the north.
so they're from the north.
Okay. So he's going the way that he kidnaps the people.
He's
He's going back home.
He's potentially going back home. Exactly.
He's gonna see a sports car
which is
drive
the
by
way
to
he
him and be
stole
like,
people,
"Woo-hoo!"
yeah. So if he like wanders into one of those towns, they're like, wait a minute.
Why is this guy naked?
So who knows what happens? We'll
Yeah.
never find out.
It's not our fault, you know.
We've done
We were
worse.
merciful.
You've done worse. We
We've done
haven't.
worse.
Too soon. Right,
So-
so at this point, I regroup. I let them know that our dear friend is gonna see how he can survive out there. What's our next move?
I'm trying to hail the ship.
Okay.
You
You,
can-
you
yeah,
get a
I'm
hold of the
actually quite-
Stalingrad, no problem.
Yeah. Who am I talking to?
Yep. You know, this is,
Sebastian.
Yep.
Hey, Sebastian.
Mhm.
Hey, Day. I don't know what your. I'm gonna say Lieutenant Day.
Mhm.
Have you received the information I just sent back to the ship?
Everything's being processed right now. We're going through the details. This is, of course, you're speaking to again the communications officer.
Yes, communications officer. I would basically just, follow as like, we could try to enter their compound on foot and go into their processing plant, which is more a processing plant than a spaceport, and try and maybe hijack a Batarian ship. Or we could do the smart thing, return to the Stalingrad and use our far superior scanners to watch their spaceport and follow the ships that leave.
Yeah, so we're going ahead, and all of a sudden you hear, kind of like cut. He just kind of cut short. There's a moment of silence, and then you hear.
Assuming direct control.
Yeah. And then you
He
hear
just breathes.
Petty Officer 3rd Class Rockwell. What is your suggestion in this situation?
That my team returns to the Stalingrad, and we use our scanners to watch and wait over the processing plant in the Great Before, try and get a lock onto one of their Batarian ships and follow them wherever they're going. I'm assuming my team and I were believing that we all believed that there was a chance that the ice planet nearby that
Yes, this was discussed before you had landed.
there's a chance that they would be there, and I'm thinking that these Batarian ships, they might not be visibly Batarian, will leave and return to there. Either way, they're getting people in from off-world, which is suspicious. I'm assuming these are the Batarians.
Batarians
Or
are known for
advanced
slave trade.
technology. Taking slave.
Very well. Return to the Stalingrad. What is the likelihood of them being tipped off that we are aware of what's going on?
Carmen would chime in at this point. Next to nothing.
Yeah. Slim to none.
To be safe, get here as quickly as you can.
Okay, and then I open comms to Tom, and I'm using my command ability
Oh no! Oh no!
and my authority ability to straight up be, now we're being picked up.
And could you describe for us what that ability does?
So that ability is once per day I can make a request for an NPC who's not openly hostile to you, making a charisma command check at a difference against their morales. If I succeed, they will comply. They will comply. And guess what? If this doesn't work, I'm doing the next one. I'm doing connected, so we'll see.
Okay.
I mean, you've got the reroll, right, don't you?
He does have the
I can
reroll
as well
ability.
with my engineer ability.
Yep,
so
yep.
It's very unlikely this doesn't work.
Oh god, you douche.
We've always got
You were like, I guess he's flying away, and I was like, yeah, he can fly back later. Is that good enough? Do I need to re-roll that bitch?
Unfortunately, they don't like you, and you put a mark against it. A DC
It's
of
against
7
their
is not
morale.
enough.
It's not against their opinion.
Oh, my
It's
apologies.
against their morale, which is why it's really good. Because they can hate me, but be really weak-willed, and they'll do what I want.
I can't even use your economy. Your PC economy. Transport will be sent out immediately.
And I'm kind of like, I imagine like, Papa was like, are you even doing that? That's okay.
I mean,
Lena
it's,
actually just smiles at him and nods.
there you go.
Wait, imagine we use that time to, you guys can pack people up, help people, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd prepare them as best as possible for like us leaving, and be like, if someone starts bleeding again, you'll have to change the bandages, apply pressure to these points, etc. Like, just generally trying to do the best I can to give them a high chance to survive.
Okay. They take the instructions like, thank you for your assistance, thank you for your aid, da 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 da, and everything's good. Cool. Good. So, eventually the transport comes over to pick you guys. It's a large transport, so it can fit a considerable amount of people, stuff, whatever inside there. Eventually the transport...
Three.
Huh?
Only needs to fit 3.
So you're just taking the 3 people inside there, and
You can try to be like, we're going to take those people, and then like, yeah, then we have to argue with Tom, then we're going to have to argue with our superiors, we need to do this fast.
Okay.
Carmine's accepted at this point, like, he knows war, he knows he can't help these people. He's done the best he can, so he feels okay about leaving. Like, we know we could never have brought them along.
Yeah, exactly.
That girl, is she the one that we first spoke to? She had like the granddad who was in the Alliance, something. She's still alive but injured, right?
Correct, exactly, yes. And she's going to be stable because of his assistance.
Okay, so Lena goes over to her and kneels down beside her and says nice things and says, I'm sorry.
Okay, yep, you go over there, you say your nice things, you do all that stuff. She appreciates everything that you've done for them, the fact that you stopped, people die. Okay, actually, let me RP this, let me do this correctly. My apologies. She goes,
I imagine we'd all be present.
listen, people die. It happens. But It happens every day, especially here, especially with how this planet works. But not every day are we able to stop the travesties that have been happening. If two sides are fighting each other and killing each other, that's war. But the kidnapping of people, the targeting of younger people for whatever reason to put in those tubes, everybody that died today died for a reason. If this never heals, and every time I walk I feel pain, I'll know that it happened for a good reason. The stories my grandfather told me, he wasn't wrong about you.
She doesn't really say anything. She actually smiles at her, which, now apart from these two, because obviously the around her a lot more, these guys have never actually seen her smile before. So she smiles at her and she just sort of does that sort of shakes, like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she just walks away.
She's actually gonna stop you for a second. Do me a favor. Roll for me when you did that nicey nice talky talk thing just now. I mean, it came off nice either way, but do me a favor. Roll for me a talk check, charisma, of course.
Ooh.
Lena.
Yeah.
We have no use for it here. Take this. And she actually is gonna reach out. She's gonna reach down to a pack or whatever that she has. She actually hands to you the old patch on his uniform where her grandfather had his medals and stuff like that.
Okay. I said thank you.
Okay. Now, as you walk away, you remember that he's maybe not necessarily considered an honored person because of the decisions that he made, but he wasn't a bad guy. He made his decisions for a reason. So
Piece of history.
He's a piece of history, exactly. So, all right, moving on. You guys are
Flying back to Tom.
flying back to Tom. Cool. I was afraid for
I'd
a
like
second.
to remind everyone, this planet has a city called Tom.
That refers.
That is all.
That refers to the planet as Tom.
Yeah.
So I was afraid you were going to try to pack that car up into the transport too, or that you're going to drive it straight back to the Stalingrad.
Rockwell knew that was a fleeting love.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
fling and nothing more.
Okay.
It only made it stronger.
If they fucking tried that, she would so try and punch them.
So
Just
you guys,
park it into. It'd end up like Agents of Shield. We just park the car in the hangar of the Stalingrad.
Lucille, I think
and
it
just
was.
everyone talks around it all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, exactly.
If there's something we'd bring, it's the freaking sports car.
Yeah, that's what we're referring
Not
to.
the people.
Yeah. Not the people.
Nah,
Yeah.
they're not the people. Nah,
She'd
the
be
car.
like, really? You guys need compensation like that? Seriously?
The gas needle, too. We wouldn't even be able to fuel it when the tank ran out. It'd be great. Anyway.
Moving on. So you guys are very good, because that's the sound effect they make, right? You guys quickly make your way back over to the city of Tom, where your ship is stationed. When you guys get there, the leader, who you've had very quick talkings with, he's there to watch you get off of the dropship, and he's kind of standing there and just be like, not happy with things, and watches you.
There's
Unless
Tiny
you
Tom there.
do you choose to go and speak with him, or do you choose to just ignore him and go straight to the Stalingrad?
Hell fucking
Stalingrad.
I don't even look at him.
Stalingrad, yeah. Faux show.
I act like he's not even there.
You guys hop onto the Stalingrad, where immediately you head to the bridge. And as soon as you head to the bridge, you can just kind of take a glance around the room and immediately, I mean, all of you guys live on ships. Immediately, you know they're doing departure procedures. They're heading.
I would walk up and then kind of go to the captain and be like, mission to go to medbay, sir.
Wait, look at your face.
He wasn't
once
looking
Yeah.
at you, but he turns around
Yeah.
and he's just kind of like,
Yeah.
good God. Ah, yeah. Oh.
Carmine at this point would chime in and be like, things got a bit rough down there. Permission to escort him to the medbay, please, sir.
All of you, there, now. And he's just kind of like
Yeah,
looking after you as you go. Now, usually he doesn't show a lot of
While
emotion.
giving evil eyes on the head pilot.
Usually he
Sorry.
doesn't show a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
hate-
emotion. I'm sorry?
Just because I hate him.
Yeah. So usually he doesn't show a lot of emotion, but obviously he has his reasons for reacting why he does with you being injured, right? So you're making your way to the med bay. And when you go in there, the medics are kind of like, oh, let's go. And they like jump up and just start going about and doing what they need to do and whatnot. And they start like lying you down and grabbing the chemicals and all of a sudden you're asleep. However, Lena, you do witness Carmine like, and you did this? Damn good job. Damn good job. And kind of going over everything and starting to work on him. Unfortunately, for him to lose his fragility state, it is going to require some time for that to happen. Luckily, so he's not going to be a part of this next part. And also, unfortunately, none of you guys are bridge staff. So this next part kind of happens in the background, right?
So I want to re-roll as Sebastian Day. Come on, comms officer. He's my backup character.
No. You can roll. You can re-roll as no, the comms character. I thought you were talking about Peyton Holiday.
The
Oh yeah, you can be Sebastian. That's fun. So moving on. So more or less, the ship makes its way over to the area where it wants to start scanning and everything, where it wants to check out where things are going, and they start scanning and checking reports and whatnot. No ships are moving around here. However, they don't need to. Enough ships come and go from this planet that they're able to pick up the residual.
Wakes.
What was that? Wakes of the FTL engines. So they're able to pick up that, and they're saying that these engines are not setting a course towards the nearest mass relay. They are in fact intending on staying in system. So following the Wake's trajectory, you can't follow the entire way there, but following the trajectory of where things seem to be kind of going to and from, you're like, oh, it seems as though this is going to that other planet that we had discussed beforehand. So
Ice world.
What are the odds?
yeah, I know. What are the odds, right? That
I
are going to
say I
and
told
from
you
there.
so because I'm in hospital.
They're going to and from where it is that you are. So, which is also in the my apologies, the Typhoon system. So the other planet is called Moros,
Moros.
and
Because Mundas is like something from Kerbal Space Program, but that's what I had in my head.
you guys
That's just a
are
mun.
called into speak with the captain. This is the captain calls the two of you to go speak on the bridge.
The two that are,
Awake.
facing the challenges ahead.
And when you guys appear on the bridge, he goes, he kind of informs you, he goes, we've gone over, at the request of Petty Officer 3rd Class Rockwell, we went over and we checked the region. Of course, there was no ship activity. They probably detected that we were heading over there anyways. There was no ship activity. However, we were able to pick up the readings of wakes from their FTL drives and seen that it is very likely that they were heading to and from Moros for many trips. Your commanding officer is no longer in command. You two are, neither one of you is settled as, but the two of you are now the ones in command of this mission, since he is not here. So I'm going to look to you for your advice on what we're supposed to proceed to next. Do you want to head immediately to Moros and see what's going on here, or do you have ideas of the great before? What would you like to do?
I personally think the Great Before is just a middle person. They get the people. They're not the actual bad people here. The person we interrogated on the planet mentioned that they got equipment from off-world that then got handed out to them, and the people were brought onto those ships and taken away. So we can basically skip the Great Before and not risk a diplomatic incident. I don't think much of value lies there.
Perhaps your commanding officer should listen to you a little bit more often than he does. And then with that, like, there's like a moment of silence where he looks away, and then he kind of stops and he looks back at you and he says, "It's good work down there." And then he actually looks over at Rookie, Lena, because of like her commands and how it was that she had set up the trap and everything. And he nods to her as well. And he says, he turns back to those that are piloting the ship, and he says, "Set a course for Moros. Do me a favor. Bring it in from outside of where their scans are going to be able to pick us up as easily. We don't want to make things easy for them. They'll probably already know that we're coming, or pick us up eventually anyways. But let's get as close as we can." And aye, Captain. And they kind of like start getting up and start flying in that direction. What do the two of you do?
The usual stuff. I'd be in the med bay, like checking.
If you go to leave the bridge, he says, "No, stay here."
Okay.
And
I will stay on hand for when he needs me. Then.
okay. You notice, of course, there's nowhere to sit, so you just stand there.
At ease.
Yep.
You gotta stand.
The captain doesn't sit, so why should anybody else that's not actively doing their job? So
He also has
Okay.
a robot leg.
he's standing there though.
I'm just saying. Like, he can just, like, flick a switch on that leg and he just put all his weight on it.
I mean, I've
Imagine.
gone through training. Like, I've marched and I've paraded
Yeah.
and I've
That's the
saluted
thing,
so
you can
much.
do that. Rockwell can't stand on the bridge for the whole day.
So you guys are heading over to Moros, to the planet, and as you're getting close enough that you can start scanning it and everything, you can see that there are, in fact, 3 different areas of greatest note. They're the areas where the 3 biggest factions from before have their mining areas. So we talked about the 3 factions from before. There was the Great Before, there was Sebastian Industries, and there was Tom. So up here, you're able to scan it and see what you find. And there is, of course, the Great Before. There is Sebastian Industries, and there is 8 of the 3 different facilities that you find here.
Okay.
So if there's a facility, like, just named after the planet?
Yeah, that
That's
caught me a bit
weird.
off guard as well.
Yeah. I wasn't exactly listening because I'm unconscious, but that...
I was thinking you were just gonna list off all the 3 factions that we all know and love by now, but
Raising nice digital flags.
So you guys are, he's looking at this thing and he's like, all right, we obviously know which one we would like to target. This is pretty easy. Our sensors are not picking up the fact that we've been noticed yet. That doesn't mean that we haven't been. I have to ask the two of you. You can either proceed now, or you can wait for your commanding officer.
I would prefer that we had a commanding officer. We don't do command.
So
a 2-man squad is not very effective.
we're going to
As
stay
much
in.
as I like to tout my own horn, but
Would you like to stay in orbit and watch over things with scanners? Would you like to land on the planet and perhaps find yourselves a nice place to nestle for a little while? You need to start giving me advice here.
Anywhere that's least likely to be detected, so whether that's on the surface. I'm assuming it's a terrible idea to go straight into where we think that they're going to be. Somewhere quiet, lay low, out of the sensors, and stay there.
If you would like to move out of the range of where we can pick up there, where we can easily detect any of their movements or what it is that they're doing, we can back off from Moros and stay somewhere else within the system until such a time that we can make our way back over here and you can land. However, you are going to more or less be casting a blind eye to the actions on the planet. To land on the planet, you can certainly find a place where it might be difficult for them to find you, but everybody will be aware of the fact that we've landed. It's not like you can have a ship flying invisible or running underneath systems. What do you expect us to do? Have a facility to store all of our heat radiation?
I suggest we head back to the planet of 8.
If we were
let-
Klingons, this would be much easier. I'm just saying.
Can we not just stay in the system so we don't have to have anyone's permission or anybody's knowledge that we're here still?
Very well, we can back off of Moros. If two of you agree with it, we can back off Moros and just stay in the system, out of their range of detecting us.
Better to let them think that we might not have found anything suspicious here and just return to our business rather than stick around here and make ourselves a target.
I don't like being a target, so.
Very well. Set a course. Just get us a good distance from here, wherever it is that you feel as though is going to keep us out of there. An easy way for them to find us. Perhaps finds the gas giants around here. Stay close to its orbit. Perhaps they won't find us as easily then. And he kind of just like turns command over to Peyton Holiday, and without saying anything to anybody else, turns and walks off the bridge.
I look at Lena awkwardly and I'm like, are we supposed to stay here now?
Permission to leave, sir?
I mean, he kind of left.
Do you say it to him as he's like walking out the door?
Mm-hmm.
He stops, he turns back, and he says, "It's your mission," and continues walking away.